Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our FB Live session. Today, 11th of November, today is the National Education Day, the birthday of Maulana Abdul Kalam Azad, an eminent scholar, an academician, and a nationalist who believed that if you have to succeed in something, it demands a lot of strength. Whether it is climbing Mount Everest or succeeding in your career, it requires a lot of strength. So he was our first prior education minister of Free India. So from 2008 onwards, we have been celebrating 11th November as the National Education Day. So it brings us a double dose of happiness to present this live FB session. So we are a part of Careers for Sure. Careers for Sure, I'm sure by now we have a little bit of leverage to tell you that we are a team of qualified and certified counselors from Pan India with a stellar 250% years of collective domain experience. We aim to leverage our extensive collective expertise to groom students as well as working professionals in succeeding in their careers. With me today is Pooja Jain, an experienced career coach and mentor and a partner with me in Careers for Sure. And I will be the host of the evening, Nitya Sriram. I'm an educational psychologist and a career coach myself. Okay, welcome Pooja. Hi.
Thank you so much, Nitya. Wonderful to share this platform with you. And a great day. What a great day to have this conversation. And yeah, thank you for highlighting that. It's so apt. And I'm sure there's going to be great takeaways for everyone watching us here today. Thank you.
Yes. Yes. So Pooja, the topic for today, upskilling. This actually, the idea came up from you with your microblog, which you wrote on upskilling
Yes.
for working professionals. So would you like, for those of them who have not read through the microblog, can you just give us a gist of the case study and what upskilling actually means?
Sure, would love to do that. So let me just take a step back and tell you how the microblog came about. As part of our coaching processes, where we work with working professionals, there had been in the last few months, few working professionals who came to us, who approached us, as you're aware, due to a job loss, or, they've been asked to search for alternate job options by their organization. Hence they've been placed on notice, so to say. So they have about a month or two to look out for jobs, and hence they approached us to help them with their job search. A couple of them looking at resume help, so random things. And when we started those conversations, Nitya, uh, it came out that they were also struggling with a lot of other issues. So there was an emotional aspect to it. I'm sure you will relate to that.
Absolutely.
Everybody had families, responsibilities. They would have had certain goals and aspirations. And this sudden COVID scenario has hit us bad in those terms. So they were dealing with a lot of things, and hence we were able to convince them and convert a few of them to go in for coaching programs with us, which is a series of sessions wherein we help them identify key issues and deal with them. Now, coming to this particular case that I had written about, so like I was saying, there were two, three such working individuals who came with a rich experience of over 15 years of experience, right? So one had about, I think, 16 years, one was at 22 years of experience, so on and so forth, right? And across different industries, so IT, pharma, etc., right? Now, these are industries, typically you will see a lot of people working for a long period of time. They're not very frequent job changers, especially in support functions. So if you were to say
Mhm.
pick up finance, for example, you would have people who have grown from level to level. And
Yes, along
yes,
with the
absolutely. Absolutely. So they've seen the journey of the organization, and in a way, they become very valuable also, because they have a lot of internal information of the organization, especially finance people, and
okay.
hence, they are given that value also. But suddenly come this COVID, and you're told that there is a restructuring, and hence, obviously, I'm sure that was a difficult decision for the organization also. I will give them that credit. But at the end of the day, this decision was conveyed that I'm sorry, we do not have a space for you any longer, right? We will support you. You have 3-4 months. They were given a severance package, so on and so forth, right? However, the fact still remains he's out of a job after that third month. Okay. Now imagine a person who has been working for 25, 30 years of his life, 15, 16 hours a day, right? And all of a sudden he's asked to look out for another option, which he had never ever thought of. Adding to that, the second part is when he starts searching for jobs at his level, what he finds is that similar jobs or designations require certain minimum educational qualifications or skill sets, right?
Absolutely.
Now, this person that I'm talking about was a plain simple BCom graduate, and he had somehow managed to do a distance learning MCom. For some
Okay.
reason, some sense came, I think, and he did that. But apart from that, there was nothing beyond that. And now, when he's looking at, say, a controller of finance kind of a position or a head of finance kind of a position, that demands a CA degree or say a MBA in finance from a reputed institute, right? Uh, and that's something that he does not have on his resume, and hence he's not getting shortlisted in the first place. So while his rich experience of 25, 30 years can give immense value to an organization, he's not able to even showcase his experience or talk about it because he's not getting an entry into any organization. His CV is not getting shortlisted. So Nitya, you work with a lot of people, and when we guide them on resumes, we tell them this is an ATS resume, which means it goes through your automated tracking system. Now, when the automated tracking system is looking for a CA or an MBA and does not find those two words on the resume, it gets
It's not.
rejected, right?
Yes.
And that's where that blog came from, and that's where I kind of thought there would be so many, many more people like him out in the market who would be struggling with something like this. And so why not, let's talk about it. Where is the gap and what can be done in good time? So that, Nitya, was the context in which this blog came about, right? And hence the conversation that we started was around upskilling. Okay, so in this particular case, definitely the course of action has to be different because it's already time. He cannot go back now to get a job. He can't first enroll for an MBA. So that's a long story, right? What can he do is a separate thing altogether. That's the coaching sessions that we do, right? But yes, having said that, there's a lot of lessons to be learned for people who are right now working, okay, who have the time and the opportunity to upskill themselves.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Fantastic. So yes, the scenario has drastically changed now because 15, 18 years back when BCom was enough to be the head of the accounts department, now it's a CA or an MBA in finance.
Absolutely.
And things are like really different. And
Yes.
So for all those working professionals who are watching this FB chat, we are going to be discussing about upskilling. I also have an exciting offer for you people. Like we are giving 10 minutes of free counseling session. I will share with you the details on how to register for it at the end of the session itself. But let's continue and tap into Pooja's brain. Like she's got, we know that Pooja, that upskilling is a word that is, it's a new age coin, a word or whatever you call, like career counselors. Now we have started being taking, we are now being taken seriously, more seriously. The 5-6 years, you and me know that nobody took us very seriously when we say, oh, we are a career counselor. Oh, I don't need any counselor to tell me how to do my job. So
absolutely.
upskilling is also a new age term. So can you tell us what actually upskilling involves? Because many people, I'm sure, they think upskilling means, especially now in the COVID season, I see whenever I open the LinkedIn page, I see a lot of people saying, I got this certificate, I got certified for this, I got certified for that. And I'm sure it is not just attending webinars and collecting certificates, which means upskilling.
Yes, so you're very right, and that's a very good question, Nitya. Thanks for asking that. So while yes, webinars and certifications do add to some part of upskilling, primarily what upskilling means is you identify what are your career goals. Okay, I want to become a cardiologist, a specialist, okay? And even in a cardiologist, I want to become a natal, pediatric cardiologist, for example. Now that's a super specialization, okay? And hence you identify, okay, so for that, I need to learn both cardiology as well as pediatrician, right? I need to understand both the things. Hence, my skill sets need to be accordingly. That was a very raw example I took, Nitya. Similarly, if your goal is to be the head of finance, to be a CEO of an organization, hence what are the skills that are going to be required? Today, if you're at a GM level and you aspire to become a CEO in the next, say, 5 years, 7 years, 10 years, what are the additional skills and the educations and qualifications you may require ahead? That is upskilling, and you need to plan for that in advance, right? In the case that I was telling you, had he thought about it even a couple of years earlier and had done a distance learning MBA, it would have somewhere helped him. So if you start, the starting point, what I'm trying to say is, what is your goal in the next 5 years, 7 years? I want to reach an X level, and for that role, okay, I need to have certain skill sets, and hence for that, are there certain courses, certain degrees, certain educational qualifications that I need to add on to my profile? That primarily is upskilling. So upskilling,
Absolutely.
if you break the word, is adding on a skill set. Now a webinar unfortunately does not actually give you a skill set. A webinar is simply for information sharing, like we are doing, okay? It is not building a new skill in you, right?
Yes.
Hence, a webinar actually is not upskilling. A certification, yes, if it is a skill which is being provided to you over a period of time, you undergo a course, it is tested out, your learning is tested out, and then you are given a certification. That can be a part of upskilling,
Very good.
right?
Excellent.
So
Excellent.
so that's what's upskilling. So in the case that I in the microblog that I'm talking about, so for him to say take up a distance learning an MBA or an executive MBA for that matter, a 1 year executive MBA from a good institute would have been his upskilling, which would have greatly helped him in that case, right? So
Exactly.
whether it was executive MBA in corporate finance and investment banking, anything for that matter, right? Uh, you need to identify, and when you do these upskilling, it is more towards a niche area, Nitya.
Yes.
It is not
Yes.
a generic one. It most cases it would be becoming a specialist in some field, going deep into that field,
Fantastic.
right?
Absolutely. So you were talking about distance MBA or anything, like he could have actually garnered more points by just doing some format of upskilling program.
Absolutely.
So
Yes.
there are various formats. I understand that there are very various formats of upskilling, like whether it is online, offline, or whether it is free, whether it's a paid course, or whether it is on a specific topic, or like you said,
Absolutely.
yeah. So there
Yes.
are various types of these upskilling courses and certification process, and whether it's a degree or a
Correct.
certificate course, and
Correct. Correct, which I'm
practica.
sure Nitya even you would be doing as a career coach, like we keep talking about. So even when we deal with students, for that matter, engineering students, MBA students, we tell them there are multiple, and due to this COVID, everything has moved online. So you have
Mm,
the luxury of sitting at home and doing a lot of these courses. They are self-paced, okay? They are very economical now.
mm.
That's the best part about it. Ever since COVID has hit us, the costs have come greatly down, Nitya. So it's a good time to add to your skills. Secondly, it's a variety of programs. So initially, the MOOCs had very limited kind of programs on e-learning, right? The IT related ones were there, but now you will see a host of different variety of programs that have come online, because that's the need of the hour now. Everything is to be done online, okay? Physical trainings and all that have reduced largely. So yes, there are options available. There are free ones. However, the value of free ones may not be same, Nitya. Again, so if I'm doing an upskilling, I'm doing a program, and I'm investing time and effort, and I want to encash it later as part of my career, it's not going to give you value, because a free program only gives you so much content and learning and a really good skills for yourself. If it is worth it, it will definitely charge you something. So the decision
Something.
absolutely is uh, for an
Absolutely.
individual to decide on that, right? And again, like I said, online, offline is definitely there. So I'm sure those who are watching us would be aware LinkedIn has immense series of courses and programs,
Lot of
wonderful
courses.
one.
Mm.
Yes. So a lot of times, remember one case we were talking about on LinkedIn,
Mm.
wherein there are certifications now that get added on. So you do a online program of LinkedIn. There is an assessment, and it gives you a certification which gets reflected on a LinkedIn profile automatically, which is so
Mm.
wonderful. You know,
Mm.
that's
Absolutely.
upskilling.
That's upskilling. Absolutely. Yeah. And as a counselor, I can also tell you, not just attending these courses at the end of the day, whether they're paid or free, not just attending these courses alone will work actually. You have to put whatever knowledge you have learned and gained into action. I was sharing
Very
with
true.
Pooja the other day how I had attended a program on LinkedIn optimization. I mean, there are three parts to it. Yes, I
Yes.
and I tried doing it on my own LinkedIn profile, which itself was
Right.
tough. Trying to teach that or trying to convey that to another counselee and get them to do the optimization, that's a totally different.
Very true.
I
And I'm
so
sure, Nitya, you would have seen the difference. The coaching that you did earlier without optimizing your own profile, vis-a-vis now when you have gone through that pain of what all changes you need to make, you'll be able to guide the person blindfolded now. You know,
yes,
go to this section, go to here, go to here, go to here. You know.
please do not go and check out my LinkedIn profile right now. It is still not full. Please give me time. I'm still running. Okay. Okay.
Sure, sure.
So, Pooja, that also brings me to a question. See, you know that I work with a lot of these engineering students, and
Yes.
we nowadays I take engineering degree to be just that, a paper which says that you went
Uh-huh.
through 4 years college. Okay, so
Absolutely. Yes.
skill sets, transferring the knowledge of being an engineer into an application oriented industry is
Yes.
another cup of tea totally. And is there a right time to when to start this upskilling? Because I as a counselor in the past few years I have started suggesting some of these kids to go in for non-electives as a course, and sometimes part of their course itself again for the practical part of it or
Uh-huh.
application part of it, ask them to go through certain courses. So for a working professional the day is fully packed, the weeks and months are really packed. So is there a
Absolutely.
right, how do they identify when to upskill?
Uh, so Nitya, that's exactly. Yes, am I audible, Nitya? I think I lost your voice
Yes,
in between.
yes, yes, you are.
Okay, so like I said, the entire concept of upskilling starts with the point when you start thinking about your career goal. So if you have a career goal in mind, you are contemplating a change, you're contemplating what is next for me. Could be in the same organization itself, right? The
Mhm.
moment that thought comes in, you need to take it to the next level, that okay, to reach there, uh,
Mhm.
what are the skills required? So if I need to replace my boss, for example, and I'm aspiring for that role, now what are the things that I need to be able to qualify for that? And for that, it means to be able to do that research and understand that at that level, what is the experience required, what are the skills, educational qualifications needed, and therefore where am I and what is the gap.
Okay.
And this, therefore, what I'm trying to say, Nitya, is you can do it at any point of time.
Mm.
So it is irrespective of an experience level. You don't need to wait for 5 years, 10 years to upskill yourself. You
So your
can do
choice
it.
of course also will depend on that, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. So if I'm a fresher, I have just spent 1 year as an HR executive. Okay. So the first year is a generic year. I mean, even you know that. And I have been into HR for 15 years. First year, you're sent through all the different departments, right? You get a flavor of it, and then you get to choose where is it that you want to go ahead, right? Uh, so once you've decided on that, for example, you say that I want to get into training and learning and development. Take up that course, upskill yourself. Because
Hmm.
your MBA in HR has been a very generic course, let me tell you. They have not taught you really anything apart from a few models.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's the time, that's the first step. Please go ahead, become a certified L&D professional, which means they will teach you that within L&D, what are the different processes.
Absolutely. So
Yeah.
that's true. I think it's true for most of the streams, like the example of the pediatric neurologist that you gave, or in the case of the HR. In my own
Yes.
case, where we do general psychology for 3 years or 5 years, and then we decide which area of psychology we want to concentrate on. So those are,
Absolutely.
you have to find your niche. So what you're essentially saying is, Pooja, that you have to have a goal, first thing, a career goal for yourself, and that is where, guys, the career coach actually helps you. But you,
Very
because
true.
you don't know, it's not necessary that we will know everything that is out there for us to know. So a career coach helps you set up these goals, and then you have to plan to ask how to reach that goal through upskilling yourself at the right time with the correct set of courses and certificates, so that that goal is reached. Did
Correct.
I summarize that correctly, Pooja?
Absolutely, Nitya. I mean, and with your experience, you get so many students of engineering and MBA, and we keep getting those calls, right? So
Mm-hmm.
definitely, you can't overemphasize the need for a coach because uh, whenever we think of ourselves individually, let me tell you, when I was transitioning from a full-time HR professional to becoming a consultant, that
Mm-hmm.
transition is a difficult phase. There's a lot of confusion, there's a lot of doubt. Okay, am I
Mm-hmm.
doing the right thing? Is this the best for me? Is there something better for me? Right? And those things, I think the best person is obviously a specialist in that area. So when I'm doubtful कि मेरे को कहीं कोविड तो नहीं हुआ, आप डॉक्टर के पास जाते हो ना, आपके you don't go to your neighbor and ask कि do I
Yeah.
have COVID or not. It's the same way. Please understand, there is a specialist out over there who's willing to help you, who has the requisite education for it, who knows the best practices, who works day in, day out on what's the latest happening around. Hence, he or she would be a better person, right? So
Yes, absolutely.
trust that. And I think the best part about it, Nitya, is that you have, like we are doing. Uh, Please take this opportunity to avail this complimentary 10-15 minutes free coaching sessions. You will get a flavor of it. You know, test it out. If you like it, go ahead. You know,
Mm.
there's nothing better
Absolutely.
than that.
Yeah. So, Pooja, so long we were talking about individuals and what they think of upskilling and how to go
Yes.
about it. From an organization point of view, don't you think that the organization should also provide these kind of course, they all put their employees through a lot of trainings and other stuff, but
Uh-huh.
are they actually put them through upskilling courses? Do they essentially put them
So,
through upskilling courses?
uh, yeah, that's a great point, Nitya. And in fact, a lot of coaches tell us that ma'am,
Hmm.
I agree with what you're saying. We need to upskill ourselves, and I wish somebody in my organization had told me. I would have done that. You know.
Hmm. Hmm.
So to them, my answer is ki if nobody's telling you, you have your own mind. you you have your own laptops, you have your own mobiles. Please read, please search, right? But
Hmm.
having said that, there are a lot of the top companies, I'm sure you know, have their own learning academies, right? So whether it's
Yes.
Infosys, the Wipro, all the pharma
Yes.
companies, they've all set
Even
up their academies, right? Wherein they
yeah.
provide a lot of these courses and programs, right? They also have very good L&D programs, tie-ups with top universities, wherein
Hmm.
they send the potential employees. Okay. However, now the word here, catch here, is a potential employee. So that's a very restricted and a niche group of
Wait.
people who get it because they have exhibited performance, superior performance, right? And hence are
Yes.
assets to the organization. So an organization will invest in people who are giving it their 100%, 200%, right? From whom they will get returns. Now, knowing that should open the eyes of the other people to aspire for it,
Yes, correct.
right?
Absolutely.
So, yeah,
Absolutely.
so the point I'm trying to make is the organizations do have these programs. So, if you are in any such organization, please go and find out about it. A lot of people I've seen are not even aware of it, Nitya.
Totally, totally agree with you.
And if your organization does not have that, uh, no problem. Please go ahead. Find something for yourself. Plan for it. I do understand there are financial implications. You can't do it at the drop of a hat, but one can plan for it. You know, 1 year down the line, 2 year down the line. Why not? You know, we all plan for our kids' education. Why not for our own?
Yeah, totally, totally agree, totally agree. So one
Yeah.
of the brings me to a point where the one excuse that I repeatedly hear from my coaches is, I don't have the time. I can't take out this much
Right.
time to get this certification.
Right.
I don't have the time to put in the effort for this long a course or this duration. And
Yeah.
okay, I'll first like to hear what is your tip for this overcoming this so-called ennui, and then I will share with you my tip.
So Nitya, actually, I had this question which I wanted to pose for you because of the discussions we've had earlier. But let me tell you. So, for me, what I believe is where there is a will, there is a way,
Mm,
right? If
mm,
today I want to go on a vacation, I will
mm,
plan it,
mm,
right? I am
mm,
fed up of this and I
mm,
want that break. I will plan it, okay, maybe a month later. But I will do everything. I will plan it and I will go after my boss and I will inform, ki, look, I have to go do teen by teen, or if there's a wedding in the family or something which is important to me, okay,
mm,
I will do that,
mm.
right? For example, if your parents need a checkup or whatever, you will take that one leave, you will take them to the doctor, right? So on and so forth. So why not for an education for yourself?
Yes, absolutely. And I like the analogy that you gave for a family wedding. Now, we are people who spend so much time, effort, money on a family wedding. Why? Because we believe that it is for the lifetime. So, isn't your
Correct.
career for your lifetime? And you spend three-fourths of
Absolutely.
in that career. So, why won't
Right.
you put in the time, effort, and money to enhance that? Right? So, generally,
Absolutely.
people who the tip that I was going to share is this: I generally ask them to go for a small term course, a certificate course or something,
Uh-huh.
and if they
Uh-huh.
think that this is their niche area, then I ask them to go on to the a full-time course or a part-time course apart from the certificate, so that they can start using that.
That's so
So
wonderful, Nitya. Absolutely. And I'm
yeah,
sure, I mean, if time permits and we keep talking, I'm sure we'll have so many examples to share of this,
yes.
considering the number of coaches that we keep getting around this. And this is typically a big area of coaching, how to manage your time.
Hmm. True, true, very true. So that brings us, I think we have covered for what we wanted to cover for this particular session. And thank you so much for sharing so much of your experience and insights into what actually upskilling means. And for all those people out there, like I'd already said, we are giving away 10 minutes of free counseling for all working professional. All it takes is we will be sharing our website address in the comments box of Facebook, as well as in the Facebook chat thing. So kindly go and click there and then fill in the form, and you get 10 minutes of free coaching. Uh, if you are convinced, I think what more can we say? We can only show it to you in action rather than telling to you. We would rather show it to you in action on what we actually do during the session. So if you're convinced, then go in for the full package.
Absolutely. Like I said, Nitya, it's about getting a flavor. So once we taste anything, we like it. When you go to the ice cream parlor, they give you that small spoon to taste which flavor you want. Do that. We are a group of coaches here, right? Please take this opportunity. We are giving it to you free, complimentary Diwali season. Come one, come all kind, right? So we are happy to take on and help you understand what is it you can do better. So make the best of this opportunity.
You should gift yourself this 10 minutes for this Diwali, actually.
Very true. Very true.
So gift yourself this 10 minutes of free coaching, and hope to see you there. Thank you, Pooja, once again. And thank you, Madan.
Nitya. Thank you so much.
And thanks to all my colleagues who have been a great support and have cheered us along for this session. Hope to see you all soon. We plan to actually have such session quite often, maybe a monthly session. So hope to see you later on. Happy Diwali, everyone.
Happy Diwali. Have a safe Diwali. And do take good care, and looking forward to interacting and hearing from many more of you. Thank you, Nitya, for this wonderful conversation. It was a pleasure.
Yeah. So signing off. Bye.
Yes. Thanks. Bye-bye.